Do you think walking is too simple to be effective? Well, in this episode of the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, we talk about how walking is the ultimate health hack. There are so many benefits to walking that are not only related to weight loss, but so many other things in the body. So if you're ready, listen up and lean in as we elevate your mind. Welcome. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
For those of you new to this podcast, Amanda and I talk about our lives, babies, dogs, all of the things. So if you are not interested in knowing us, please check out the show notes below to see when we start our conversation about walking. It's my birthday.
I know. Happy
birthday to me.
Oh, confirmation. We are going to be there for brunch.
Yay.
I bet you Michael stays the whole day, but I need to get back because pumping and all that shit.
Got it. Yes.
Got it.
Okay, good. Because it's interesting because if it's over 19, I have to get their catering menu.
Oh,
yeah. But if it's 18 and under, everyone can just
order
off the menu. So I'm like, please, everyone, confirm if you're coming or not to my birthday party. For those,
is there 18 or 19?
I haven't sat down and done the numbers. I literally didn't even send out the invite till last Friday because I was just like, I don't know. I wanted to do it Friday night because I thought that would be easier with the dogs, but then our new dog sitter is an older gal. She's a nurse, a retired nurse.
Uh-huh.
She's awesome. She already met him. And I was like, actually, it's probably easier for her to do it during the day. So we will, do brunch and then mini bowling.
Yeah.
It's not they
that's
call
what
it
I hear.
duck bowling. I thought there'd be ducks, little rubber duckies, but it's actual pins.
Yeah. I heard it's only less pins.
Yeah.
And the lanes are smaller or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do that. And then we go to a little place that has bocce ball and stuff. And then
fun.
Just call it a day. That will be that. And then what else? Oh no, this past weekend, I had two awesome things happen.
Okay.
So number one, I was asked to appear on the Yetta Gibson show on News Channel 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that. And then I was like, okay, I guess we'll chat about that on Monday.
Yes.
I try to reserve some of our chatting to today.
Yes. We talk all the time.
Yeah.
So we're just repeating things half the time. My old PR girl called me or texted me and was like, hey, I might have an opportunity for you. And she called me and they were talking about, this is so fucking interesting, how people are getting relationships with chatbots and how it's very, very common. There's literal apps Replica is an app where you can literally create a chatbot to replicate your perfect partner. And there's this back and forth conversation that's happening and people are literally getting obsessed. They're having sex, like phone sex, if you will, with the chatbot.
How? What?
Yeah.
It's like Her. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it, but I want to watch it now.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
That's exactly what they were talking about. So she wanted a dating therapist or coach to come on and talk about why and how. And if I'm surprised, which I was not. I mean, and the way I talked about it was think about 900 numbers back in the day. It's the same shit. Someone else on the other line telling you what you want to hear, except for AI is intelligent enough to learn you. So then it feels more personable. And then we talked about how it affects true human connection, which for obvious reasons, it's basically taking you further away from the thing that you're trying to receive. And then what else? How to kind of gauge, if you're getting into that place. And I, always talk about moderation, if it's becoming at the expense of yourself or we're obsessing over it and it's a thing we're thinking about all day, then obviously that is an issue. This was a New York Times article that she was basing it on. And the girl was straight up, not only in a relationship with her AI bot, but she's married and her husband knew about the AI bot and the AI bot would create fantasies of things that she liked, but her husband didn't. And so, I should talk about this on Dating Deja Vu.
You should talk about that on Dating Deja Vu.
Yeah. So
hang on, because I'm so outside of the world right now. Do you think there's going to be rehab centers for this though?
Oh, sure.
Eventually, because that's the hard part. Because now, how do you escape? So it's talking about talking drug addiction and eating disorders and whatnot. Is drug addiction, you can take yourself out of that a little bit easier because it's not everywhere of heroin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But eating disorders is more challenging because you have to eat,
right?
So for what I'm thinking is social media and all of that, like you have to have a phone in order to communicate, and it's so easy to download the app. So how do you restrict yourself when you have that kind of tendency to create this, if you're like on the recovery process?
I would think, I'm not sure about it, but I would think that because OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT, they're trying to set parameters. There's actual parameters. People are jailbreaking ChatGPT to get it to do these things, because in the current parameters, it shouldn't have like sexual conversations with you. And so it's going to really be creating these hard stops where either
but whose responsibility is this?
It's not their responsibility. It's the responsibility of the human. But like some people have locks on their social media where you can only open it a certain amount of times. Like it's going to have to be something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how technologically you keep yourself from it, or you just get a flip phone at that point.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what you have to do. Just like old school flip phone.
So what did this husband say to this? He was just like, oh,
he's like, oh, that's her chat boyfriend. And it was obviously there's an issue in their relationship where he's not, and she wanted to do, I forget what the kink was, but there was a specific kink that her husband wasn't into, that then the
like furries
ChatGPT. Yeah. It was, I don't remember. Yeah. But it was interesting. So it was myself and another MFT.
Okay.
And he and I talked with Yetta, and we just,
did you guys have similar viewpoints? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like opposing and they were running late. So we sat for like 30 minutes beforehand and chatted. So they asked us if we would be their ongoing therapist.
Oh, yay!
So we'll see if that happens. So that was that. I'll talk about the next thing on the next one. But it's my 42nd birthday today when you're 42. Hearing this. 42.
Hoo.
It's so weird. It's like 21 years ago. I was 21.
Ew.
I know.
Doing what'd you do for shit? What did you do for your 21st birthday?
Oh, great question. So I worked at Santisi Brothers. And I was going to Arizona State. And I, at the time, because I made so much money at Santisi's, like I could have made more money on Mill, but like I was just so established there that I'd go to school, go to dance practice Monday through Thursday, leave dance practice, get ready, drive to Santisi's.
For the audience that doesn't know, that's like a 20-30 minute drive.
Yes. Yeah. Do host karaoke and sell shots as a shot girl. So in between song, like when the people were singing, I'd walk around with shots and sell them. I made bank.
I'm sure.
Then I'd work Friday morning, like the Friday lunch crowd, because there was this buffet and it was like easy money. Then I'd work. Did I work Saturdays? I don't remember. And then Sunday morning for football. And I did that every weekend. And I just stayed with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I lived in Tempe, and my apartment in Tempe, but I stayed with the girl who worked with me. So we ended up, so I had my first shot there because at the time it was 1:00.
Okay.
Was the time where bars closed. So right at midnight was your power hour. So my dad came, he surprised me at midnight and served me my first drink. And then I had 21 shots in 21 minutes. And I was in a situationship with a firefighter at the time. And so my girlfriends took me to Denny's. He picked me up, took care of me, woke up the next morning. I was off the whole weekend. My regulars that usually came in Friday. Did I work a double on Friday? Maybe I did. My Friday night regulars. Maybe I did work a double at the time. Took me to the open VIP.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they were like, that was my first experience with the open. Then we used to go to this bar underage. And so I was talking to the owner who thought I was of age. And I told him it was actually my 21st birthday. And we never caused trouble there. Like we always tipped everyone well. Like everyone was fine. So he's like, oh my God, it's your 21st birthday. I was like, yeah, sorry. He goes, no. He's like, what are you doing Saturday night? And I said, well, I don't really have plans. I have plans Thursday and Friday because it was on a Thursday, which it is this year. And he goes, okay, you and your girlfriends meet here at the bar. So he had a car come get us and took us to this really nice like club called Barcelona, which isn't there anymore. VIP. First time I ever drank Dom Perignon. I had a cake for myself. I had all drinks comped, food comped, and I was in VIP and it's the open time. So like, football players are there. Hotties. The Gin Blossoms are there. Really? I met the Gin Blossoms. I met Jeff Garcia, who was playing for the 49ers at the time. It was me, Jessica, Angel, and Adrienne. And
That was my 21st birthday. That's really casual.
Yeah, super casual.
Yeah. So
I
what
kept
kind of
the check.
PJs did you guys wear?
Yeah, right? I kept
Oh
the check,
God.
and it was like $1,200, and that was in what 2005 or whatever.
Yeah. So what?
Or
Probably like 4,000 today. In today's world.
I don't know what the math is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's 2004. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this will be good.
This will not be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just kept going.
Oh my God.
And going and going. Like it was nuts.
How wonderful.
It was great.
That is not how my 21st birthday went. I think I just went to the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was at NAU.
Right.
So I just went out and that was
went to like Marley's.
Yeah. I don't even remember.
Did you ever do that tequila sunrise?
Yeah.
Tell people about that.
So NAU has this thing, it's called tequila sunrise, and it's for homecoming essentially. Basically, all the bars open at sunrise and you just go and drink.
Yeah. I want to do
and
that.
It's wild. It's like, I mean, when I did it, it was like, wow, this is a lot of people. But then I was like, this is kind of great because now we can pass out by like 2 p.m.
Well, the homecoming game is that day, right?
I don't remember. I literally only went to one football game and it was like a scrimmage, like against offense and defense. So it wasn't even like a team because NAU wasn't like, at the time I went, I don't know how it is now. Okay. Well, it wasn't like it's not a sports school.
Right.
So then when I went to Texas Tech, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like this is like, y'all are too into this.
Yes.
And so that was a shell shock there.
Yeah. So
Well, that's
this
exciting.
year we'll be getting a nice dinner Friday, but we're just going to eat it here because of the peppers. Amanda got to meet my baby.
Yeah. Wait, where are you getting dinner from?
Probably Steak 44.
Duh.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe somewhere else. And then we'll go to Palma for brunch, then bowling and whatever's. Yeah. It's nice because they're all like doop, doop, doop.
Yep.
There's a lot of great bars downtown.
I know.
Like that I've never been to. So that's that.
Okay. So I met your baby.
You met my baby. She's cute.
She is really cute. She's stocky.
She's just stocky.
I was like, oh shoot. She's like got some.
Well, you should feel her legs.
She definitely deadlifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Her legs are like little chunker munkers. So she's upgraded to sleeping in our bed and she's done very well. And I actually think that helped them.
Does Harlem sleep in the bed? Okay.
I think that helped them
really
be closer because the couch just wasn't enough room.
Yeah.
Now Liberty is learning to walk around Harlem to lay next to her. And she so that jumping over the couch thing is Harlem's fault because Harlem sits on the back of the couch. So then Liberty
to get over
is also trying to sit on the back of. So you guys, when I'm talking about the back of the couch, like the part that
the back of the couch,
the back, like where it like is highest up from the ground, and my beagle is small enough to like prop up there. But this boxer chunker munker is what I call her, clunker chunker munker.
She doesn't look like a boxer to me. I thought she was more pit bull.
So they think so. I think she's boxer Dalmatian mix.
Oh,
the trainer thinks she's American bulldog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to get genetic testing?
Yes.
Okay.
We are.
So we will have our mystery solved.
Yes, we will. Also, speaking of genetic testing, I did that gallery testing I talked about on here. No cancer cells in my body. Yay! So, and then I had my TIA appointment. And this time they did all my hormones.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Just like,
are they all good?
You guys, if you have a TIA, they have them in California, they have them in New York, they have them here. I haven't got my results yet. Literally, I walk in, they're like, what do you need today? And I'm like,
hormones.
No, I said, this is my physical exam. She goes, okay, well, we'll do your CBC and like the norms. And they're like, okay, and we'll test your thyroid, which they do every year because of my mom. And then I said, can you just test all my hormones? And they're like, yep. And then she goes, okay, so we need breast exam. I'm like, yeah, but every time I get one, I always have to get an ultrasound. She's like, nope, I'll just put it in because you have dense tissues that's actually what you need up front so that it's covered by preventative care. Oh, because last time I remember they were like, there's like, $500.
Yeah. And I was like, well, what? And then you're like, no, I just have muscle.
Yes, exactly. And so they did everything. I have a skin thing they dealt with. Yeah.
Nice.
I love them.
Good.
Yeah. So what's up with you?
So you
had a lot of things going on.
I had a lot of mom stuff. Like that's super fun. I went shopping. That sucked.
Oh yeah. Talk to them. Tell them.
I did. I did my docuseries on it.
Oh, good.
I like walked through it because I was prepared like to go up in sizes, and I was like, it's gonna be okay. Like I'm ready to go up in sizes. It's fine. but I was not prepared for like the mirror. I forgot about the mirror in dressing rooms. And I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
So I almost had a Menti B in Madewell.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's somewhere you've shopped before.
Yes.
Okay.
So
did you watch my reel on what to do when you're trying on clothes when you don't want to? I did a whole reel on it where you face away from the mirror and see how it feels on your body first.
When did you do the reel?
Probably like 2 months ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Oh yeah. You were having a
baby. Yeah. I was 2 months ago.
Having a baby.
Yeah. Okay. Baby emerged from my vagina. So yeah, I was like, ugh. So I was like, I started getting worked up and I was like, it's okay. We're just going to be done. Like, we're just going to move on from this store. I'm going to go get my underwear that I wanted to get because I wanted to get new undies
from Soma.
Yep. And then I went to Loft and I found like just 2 t-shirts there. I was like, okay. And then I went to Lululemon and that was like, they had like all the sizes that I didn't need because I need a bigger size because of my waistband. Didn't have them. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll like try on what I usually wear and see if I even like the cut and whatnot. And there was like just nothing in there that I really liked. I feel like Lululemon sometimes is hit and miss on their styles. And then I went to Fabletics and I was at that point, I was like,
so I'm over this.
Yeah, I'm over. So I was like, and I was going to go to Express too. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be done. Like I could probably walk into Express and find 1,000 things, but I'm going to think all of them look like shit on me. So it's not worth it to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to be done. I got my pants. I got 2 shirts. I got my undies and I can always come back. And I was like, and it's fine. And then I started being like, what would I say to a client right now? And I was like,
she's acting like that's a bad thing.
I know. I'm not. It's one of those of like, what would I say to a client right now? Because I don't want to like shut this down, but it was like, I got outside, I got my steps in, I tried on clothes, I didn't have a mental breakdown, I walked myself through it. And just kind of like, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. So there was that. And then my mom's school started on
mom school.
Yeah. So on Wednesdays, there's this little group or this place that is like a place for moms, essentially. Like they have lactation consultant,
milk.
OT. Modern milk. And so I did mom school and it's basically they pair everybody up. So like the group I'm with is people who had babies in November and December. And so we meet every Wednesday. And then they just have like speakers come in and just talk about things, but it's like a way to meet people that are going through the same like life stage as you.
Yeah.
Because as opposed, like I have my friends that have kids, but some of them are all different ages. So it's just a way to connect. And so I did that. And then we went for a walk yesterday, like a group of us.
Oh, that's
I know.
Nice.
I was like, oh, okay. Like, yes, let's be active.
Yay. We love that. Yeah. And look that's networking for business.
Well, I'm not trying to like slide it in, but I'm slide that shit. Yeah. I'm not like, hey, I'm a personal trainer for postpartum moms.
Just tell them to follow you.
But I'm just like, oh yeah, I do a couple things. And then I start going in because I don't want to be a sleaze.
Yeah. I'll be a sleaze.
And then that's it. There was some other stuff that happened, but I forget what. That's okay.
Is Michael less carring?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. We had a nice little chit chat about that.
Good.
Because Michael was gone a lot.
Michael
for car, he doesn't even listen, so it's fine. We can talk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gone a lot. And so we had a nice little chit chat on Saturday morning. I was like, look, I need you to watch her. Just let me just have a banging. Oh, I did a banging workout and I didn't fuck myself up and I wasn't sore. So I was like, sweet.
Yeah. I saw that.
So yeah, I was like, sweet. So I was like, I just need you to watch her for like 5 hours. And he's like, okay, I can do that. I was like, thank God.
Sweet.
Yeah. So see ya. I'm going to go work out for an hour.
Yeah. And go shopping.
And I just did whatever I want to do.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had some steps in. And with that said, we are talking about walking today and why it's one of the most overlooked hacks for your health. It is literally the thing that I always will have, like I always do. Like this morning, I woke up at 6:15 and I'm like, Mark,
tardy.
I know. I'm like, Mark, I can't wake up this late.
Wait, do you wake him up? Like, do you just what I picture is you like coming up and being like 6:15, Mark?
No,
and then
he's already awake.
Oh,
because he's waking up with my fucking alarm.
Oh,
and then not waking me up.
Oh, well, what if he wants you to sleep?
No.
Oh. Okay.
We don't have time to sleep.
Okay.
I need to be up at least by 5. Wake up to go work out. Work out from like 5:30 to 6:30 or 6 to 7. Just depends on how much I want to sit there. And then get these girls on a walk.
Yeah.
Didn't get ready for the
How
day.
does Liberty do on a walk?
Well, the trainer brought us a collar. So there's like those really mean chain collars. That's not what this is. It's actually better for their trachea, the collar, but it does kind of like give her a little resistance in her thing here. Because I told him, I was like, I don't want anything inhumane. And he goes, no, these are actually more humane than even the regular collars because they put less pressure on their trachea. Plus the harness, when she's wanting to do something and then feels that tension, it makes her even more frustrated. So it goes around higher up. It goes like right behind her ears and it guides her. And I don't have to pull. She'll feel the tension from it and she'll naturally correct herself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. It's not 100, but like today she heard a dog in a house and was like obsessed with it, which is not normal. And she wouldn't come. So then we're doing this thing where we have to learn between correction versus like, what did he say? Like influence. That's not what it was. So the correction is like tugging. Mm-hmm. The influence is like, come here, Yeah. So anyways, okay. That was on our walk. But this morning, I was like, well, I'm not going to, if I try to work out, I'm going to be fucking pissed because I'm just going to be so far behind. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, after we podcast, I don't have another meeting till 2:30.
Oh, good.
So I was like, I'll just work out then.
Yeah.
Or just push it to Saturday morning, which probably would be better since I'm going to be out and about all day because right now we're just doing the walks to Oso, which are 3 miles, but that's been my workout on Saturday. So I was thinking, well, I'll do the 3 miles and the workout,
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Balance that booze.
Yes. Balance the booze. And I got that in. I always prioritize walking. I can't tell you guys. Well, I will tell you. We will tell you today, like how important it is. How was it for you? I mean, obviously,
I had to ramp up. Yeah, because at first I was like doing a little bit of walks around the house and whatnot, but then I would go down the street and back, and I would get like it fucked me up, like worse than lifting. And I was like, "What? Okay." But now I'm pretty good. So
is your pelvic floor pretty much back to normal, or would you?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like nice. I need to foam roll my butt a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing very well at that. But other than that, yeah. But again, I also took care of it and learned to breathe and did the exercises and didn't go right back to walking. And so some people are like, oh, walking is really casual. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a common misconception of like walking is so easy, it doesn't count. Right. And I'm like, no, walking actually for me postpartum was harder than going back to lifting on my body just because of the impact on the ground going after one after another. But honestly, like Friday, I probably got 12,000 steps, and yesterday I got 10,000 steps. But my goal is about 5,000.
Yeah.
And so it just makes it nice thing to do when you're outside with friends casually and get out.
Well, and I put in here, so I want you guys just to understand. So for a woman, 40 years old, 5'5", weighing 150 pounds, this is a rough guesstimate on how many calories you burn from walking steps. So you have 2,000 calories. So basically 1 mile is about 80 to 100 calories. 4,000 steps, 2 miles is 160 to 200 calories.
4,000 steps is 2 miles?
Apparently, according to this, 6,000 steps, 3 miles. Yeah, that's about right. 240 to 300 calories, 8,000 steps, 4 miles, 320 to 400 calories, 10,000 steps, 5 miles, 400 to 500 calories, 15,000 steps, 7.5 miles, 600 to 750 calories, and 20,000 steps, 10 miles, which no one got time for that.
No,
800 to 1,000 steps. So you can see even 6,000 steps, which is very, very easy to accomplish. I mean, you're increasing your total daily expenditure by, we'll say 200 to 300 calories.
And not totally wrecking your body with like a HIIT or like a high intensity cardio or something like that.
Right. And like I had a client reach out and she's like, well, I listened to the podcast. She's a surgeon.
Oh, cool.
She's a colorectal surgeon. And she was like, should I add another workout in? I was like, no. She goes, because I don't want to stress my body. I was like, let's just do a nice walk that day.
Yeah.
And she was funny today. I sent her, I was like, you're down 1.4 pounds. And if you look at the scale, like the line graph, it doesn't look like it's moved. But if you actually look at her daily intake, input, I was like, you're down 1.4 pounds in the week. And she's like, I thought the scale wasn't moving. I was like, well, here's the data.
Yeah.
She's like, oh shit. Yeah. So there are not just people are going to think walking. They're going to think, again, number one, they're going to think it's not enough, but as you just heard, it is. So we're going to go through the different benefits. We're going to break this down through physical, mental, social, And I would even say a part of social is like vacation benefits.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, so when people think of cardiovascular health, they think they need to run or row or bike, when actually a moderate paced walk will increase the benefits, increase your cardiovascular health, with, as you had mentioned, just less impact on the body overall.
And I would say, I want to interrupt you on that, is the moderate paced walk. Like you should be able to like chat while but chat in a pace where it's like, you're not going to get out of breath, but if you had to keep going, eventually you'd be like, okay, I got to catch my breath a little bit.
Yeah, I think a Liberty Walk versus a Harlem Walk. Harlem Walk is like
a Michael Walk versus
or Liberty's like, let's go.
Yeah.
So, why is that important, especially for women and men who are listening? Is you're going to reduce, heart risk for heart disease, which for women, especially as we get older, that increases over time, as well as your blood pressure increasing, and just overall like cardiovascular health risks increase as we age. So we don't have to do the crazy cardio. You literally can do, a walk that is, we'll say, if we're looking at zone 2, it'd be like a zone 2 cardio, right? Where so for me, my heartbeat might be anywhere between 100 to 120 beats per minute. That's not very high.
I have no idea what mine would be. I don't look like.
Do you know how to calculate your resting heart rate?
My Apple Watch.
It's your age times like 240 or 220. I don't remember.
Well, we're not doing math here.
Great.
So going back to your client there, where she noticed increased steps, it supported her weight management too. And I think this is one thing that I see often, especially the new year and whatnot. We've done a couple episodes on that, is people are looking to get more exercise in, but they don't have a foundation of exercise.
Right.
And walking is a great way to start that. So if you're looking to just kind of move that needle towards health, and maybe losing weight is part of improving your health, this is a great simple thing that you can do with very minimal investment. If anything, you just need shoes, and even you can wear flip-flops if you want.
Yeah.
So supporting the weight management, but also with that, as far as the weight management, so improves your joint function as well. So as we know, when we are overweight, that does put an additional load on our joints, and it makes it harder for them to just recover and move. But now if we're losing weight, or even if we don't need a weight loss period, we're still getting that lotion is our motion is lotion, right? So we're getting that fluid through the joints. We're getting them moving. We're getting them active. You're going to feel less stiff, less achy. And it helps strengthen the muscles around the joints as well. So it's, I'm not going to say it's going to prevent injuries, but it's going to be a low injury risk, as well as kind of helping recover from potential injuries as well.
Well, and you think, people who are overweight or obese, they do tend to be more sedentary. And so this is an easy way, even if it's just walking up and down your own street for the beginning, for them to,
or just even driveway.
Oh yeah.
Too.
1,000. Yeah. The thing I was thinking about too is now we're creating a routine around something around movement, right? So maybe they're doing that every single day, and they gradually increase their time to do that, or they figure out a schedule throughout the day to get more movement in. And then over time, they can replace one of those walks with maybe some strength training or something like that. So that's a good way to kind of build up your routine. And with that said, one of the easiest things to do, and this also helps promote digestion, is walk 10 minutes after each meal. There are studies that show that it not only helps with digestion, but also helps with managing insulin resistance. And again, for women in peri and postmenopause, that is something that we see a lot of blood sugar dysregulation through that process, where we're seeing more insulin resistance, weight loss becomes more difficult, and just being able to walk 10 minutes after each meal. And I was thinking about this the other day, like, well, what if you work a desk job?
Yeah.
Well, you should have a 30-minute lunch. So take 20 minutes, have a mindful lunch,
right?
Get up, just walk around the building, or maybe instead of sending emails, you walk to the person, talk, go walk to the other person, talk, go walk to the other person. And now we're doing work too, right? And we're moving around. Or like my dad was in the hospital last week, and I just took the stairs up every time, 6th floor, and down, up and down and up and down. And I'm pretty in shape, and I was still tired. So,
well, that's a girlfriend and I actually, that I used to work with, we would do that for lunch, is eat lunch, and then go for a walk around the parking lot.
Love it.
And I think a lot of people were similar to exercise. They restrict their environment because they say like, oh, I don't have a place for exercise. And it's like right here, right here in the middle of your living room is a place for exercise. And, oh, well, I like to walk like on a path or something like that in nature. And you have to kind of give that up, I think. And that's a hard truth of I
have flexibility with it.
Yeah, I have flexibility. Like the ideal walk, like we would honestly walk the parking garage and because it was in shade more so. And so even like as in the summer, obviously we weren't out there, but in the winter and whatnot, if it was raining, go walk the parking garage and it's just fine.
Well, and right now it's snowing in a lot of places and people are like, oh, well, it's snowing. I couldn't get my movement in. And it's like, again, you can do it in your house. I remember during COVID when we didn't know what was happening and no one was going outside, I'd literally walk my house.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. I would just go like literally all the way around the perimeter.
Yeah.
Every single room.
A circle that gives me 50 steps.
Yeah.
So I know like, oh, if I only need like 200 steps to reach my goal, I'm like, I just have to do this 4 times.
Right. Well, my dad does that.
Yeah.
Because he, with his lung cancer, being outside causes too much like, stimulation, if you will, like with the just air allergies and stuff. Yeah. Just the shit in the air. So he does it in his house. And we were waiting for my brother. He was like an hour late for our Christmas lunch.
Naturally.
And I literally was just walking my dad's path. And I think I ended up getting like 30,000 steps.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing too, is it helps to strengthen your immune function and boost it. And I think too, there's obviously the physical benefits we've already talked about because your gut health being in alignment is positive. And then we're going to talk about the mental health, which if our nervous system is in alignment, then our immune system. So we have our gut, our digestive, immune, nervous system and endocrine system. And I believe, again, those are all interconnected. They're not separate systems. They all play off of each other. And walking is one of the things that helps to kind of regulate is a good word.
Symbiosis.
Yeah. Create some synchronicity in all of those. So I think that, physically it's not taxing. You can make it so fun too, right? You can throw on a podcast or sometimes I'll even work.
Yeah. I like to work when I do it because that's an easy way. Like I'll usually pull up my computer, do my big check-in with clients where I can see everything because it's just easier for our app. And then as they're messaging back, I'm on my walk doing it.
Yeah. And I use the talk to function. Text? Yeah. Yeah. Or the voice notes. Oh. Yeah. So I'll just go in and blah, 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 and just send it as I'm out there. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm already at the halfway point, of my walk because I've just been doing multiple things.
Sure.
And so physically, so many benefits. But for me, when I'm not working, it's the mental benefits.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's what I noticed. Like especially with having the baby, at first it was like to get out. It was like, God, it was a lot of effort, which sounds ridiculous to get out with a baby because it's like, did she just eat? Is she going to eat? Like, how do you strategize that? But just for me, when we started going out for walks, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm out for a walk. Like it was just like so proud of myself because it's something that I can do where I'm not necessarily leaving the house and bringing a bunch of stuff with me. And it also reduced like the stress of me being in the house so much and just being confined where I'm getting out. I'm showing that I can do something outside of the house. I can do it with her. And if she freaks out, all we have to do is turn around.
Yeah.
Before baby, it was really beneficial for my anxiety. I noticed like, if I started feeling like some days I just wake up and I feel more anxious for whatever reason, no particular rhyme or reason. And I would notice like if I would just go for a walk and kind of be present on that walk instead of trying to like race through, but it would help me kind of get my thoughts out, start making my like to-do list that I felt like overwhelmed about and just help kind of mellow my feelings for the day and set me up. That way I'm not going into the day anxious.
Well, there is a belief that walking in nature is your natural EMDR.
Oh, really?
And bilateral stimulation. So in EMDR, you're looking right to left.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So you're kind of, focusing on different things. And so this process of looking side to side helps to regulate your nervous system. It's helping to access both your logic and reasoning and emotional sides of your brain simply by crossing the center hemisphere of your body. So you are doing this and you're looking side to side when you're walking. So that's why you don't feel as anxious.
I wonder, so for like trauma, do they recommend like walks?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the trauma and how safe you feel, and maybe if you're easily startled. Because like I used to be easily startled, and walking sometimes was
too much.
Scary.
Yeah, I wonder.
Not scary, but like I'd like be hyper vigilant. But then we take walking, and I'm going to talk about outside in nature.
Yeah,
nature is a natural like mood booster. Sunshine, fresh air, looking and being mindful, like creating that mindfulness of looking at the flowers and the hummingbirds. Like I've talked about my hummingbirds and like they literally create this like overwhelming feeling for me. Today there was a rainbow. Just being able to be so mindful and present of like what's going on. It's going to help, of course, reduce anxiety. And then the movement, the fresh air, the sunshine will help naturally boost your endorphins, which ultimately is going to make you feel better. The other thing I notice is I get the best ideas on my walks.
Yes. Same.
Yes. It's crazy.
And when I don't have my phone, I'm like, fuck, like, how am I going to remember this?
Yeah, I actually have a list in my notes app that is your ideas.
Yeah.
And it's social media ideas, business ideas, so many things. And I truly believe that you're connecting to this higher version of yourself, especially if you are looking at the flowers. And like I live on a mountainside, so I just look at the sun rising and the clouds, and like you're just in this totally different vibration and zone that I think that's where those really high energy, like high vibration thoughts come from, because when you're stressed and all that, that's not going to be an environment to like be creative,
right? I'm glad you brought up the looking at the sunrise, because I think, again, if we're talking about being outside in nature, when we're seeing the sunrise and sunset, that helps us with our circadian rhythm. So like essentially your sleep clock. And so being out and walking improves our sleep.
Yeah.
And so I think, as well as, if we think about it, it sets up a routine, right? But telling your eyes, because the sunrise and the sunset have different color hues that your eyes interpret as like, okay, this is wake time, this is downtime. So it's going to help kind of promote better sleep without having to be in that anxious state too. And I notice like for clients, if they're anxious, it's like go out for a walk, it's sunset, that kind of sets their mood down for the night. Or just doing it again. So like habit stacking, going for a walk after dinner with your family when the sun is going down now is going to set your mood better for going into that sleep cycle.
No, that's great. And there's so many, what you just said. So I'm helping with digestion, helping with blood sugar regulation, because I did it after I ate. I'm working on kind of down regulating my body to get ready for sleep, because I'm connecting it with the sun setting. And then the social aspect, right, of being with my family, which is our third point, that walking allows us to be active but engaged with people. Whereas if I take someone to a yoga class, I can't talk to them when I'm in that yoga class. And so being able to walk and talk, and I mean, Mark and I was thinking about it today, like how much walking we did when we were on that long 16-month trip. And when you're walking, even the walks we do on the weekends, like we're talking to each other. It's not like we're being silent. We're connecting in a way that we don't get to necessarily connect, because he doesn't walk with me in the mornings. He takes the girls on their walk after he works out in the evenings.
Oh,
yeah. So then, and that's usually when I'm kind of catching up for the day. Yeah. So that walk on Saturdays is huge for us, because we can kind of reconnect. I literally said to him we went out to dinner Friday night, and I said, how was your week? And I'm like, I live in the same house, work in the same house as this human, and I had no idea what was going on this week. So the walk and obviously the dinner allows us to catch up.
Well, and then you mentioned it too for your guys' trip, vacation, but also trip just around the country. So for us, when we go on a trip, we make sure to walk as much as we can. And so full transparency, my significant other is not a big walker, exerciser, or anything that I am, but I do appreciate, because when we do go on vacation, he definitely supports, and like, we'll be like, we could walk there. And so it's nice, because on vacation, I think a lot of clients get worried because they're not going to exercise, or they're going to lose their momentum. But again, thinking of walking is movement, is exercise, or is a state of social interaction. And so when we go on vacation, if we can, don't you have that rule? Like you're
if it's less than 20 minutes of walking there.
So, and that's what we always look, if it's like a 1 mile walk, it's like, okay, that's like we can do that, you know. But there's a difference between a 1 mile walk and a 5 mile walk. But what we would actually do too, because we used to do, we'd call it drinks and apps. And so bar hop essentially.
Yeah.
But we would walk to each bar. Now, are we eliminating our calories that we're having with drinks and apps through walking? No, but that's not the point, because it's kind of, again, that balance of exercise.
Yeah. Well, and again, it allows you to be on vacation, be mindful, see things you might not see.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're not in a taxi or
like the alleyways that have cool little shit and cool little dive bars too.
We were in Boston.
Fenway's not like in the center part too.
No. So we walked across the river to MIT all the way to Harvard.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And we saw these cool, like you said, alleyways. Oh, I remember what I was thinking about this, because I bought this hair product from this girl. It was actually an African-American, like, little street festival. And I was like, my hair was curly.
Yeah.
My hair is naturally curly, for those who don't know, because it was so humid that I just wore it natural. And I asked her like what I should use. And I still have it. Like, this shit lasted me
forever,
for like 3 years. And it's still like halfway there. I'm like, this poor girl, she needs to make smaller portions. So I was thinking about like, wow, like we would have never seen that if we weren't walking. We walked all the way to Harvard. I think we may have.
That's a long walk
Ubered
across the river.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, we walked the entire Freedom Trail.
Yeah, that's a long walk too.
Walked that whole thing. Like we did. Yeah, we walked a lot. It was great.
Well, I miss it.
Actually.
I know that's what I do like about those East Coast cities, is that they are built based off of walking more so, whereas West Coast is going to be more driving.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. But going with that though, walking is accessible to all. So that's something that I really appreciated yesterday. So there's 6 girls of us, 6. Yeah, I think so. And we all had strollers, right? So we can't just like go on a sidewalk together. And because it's interesting, because you want to kind of pair off in 2s and 3s and kind of chat and get to know each other. But so we could do like an indoor track, we could do an outdoor track. We did Tempe Town Lake, so it's a little bit wider where it's paved. You can do it neighborhood. You can do a walking pad while you're working. Like there's so many different ways to get the steps in.
For walking pad while you're working, if you're typing away and you want to count because you're a counter.
Yes,
I want to see my number.
I want to see my number
on my watch. I put my watch on my ankle.
I put my watch in my pocket usually.
Oh, that's smart too.
Yeah.
Probably better. I just throw it on my ankle.
Take it off and put it on. Yeah, because I learned that and I was like, what the fuck? I only got like 2,000 steps. I was like, no, there's no way. I was on the walking pad for like 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh.
You'll be surprised, you guys. Like I looked down, I'm like, holy shit, I have 15,000 steps. And you don't realize you were working for an hour and a half and you're not going fast. You're just like ding, ding. My client Caroline, who works from home, she was like, I want to use my walking pad today, because I like convinced her to do it. And she goes, it was great. She goes, I just watched Bravo. I'm like, you don't even have to be working. Like I would do that too. I just wish I had one that had like a option, because there's a walking pad right there where I can have a little rail come up for when like I want to do it when I watch TV. Or I can just be walking. But most of the time I'm only watching TV at the end of the night after dinner with Mark, because that's one thing we do together. But walking is endless, as we talked about. You can go as far as you possibly want to go. It's free and convenient. So that is why we are such big proponents of walking. We give our clients step goals. Now, I do want to say something, because I said this to my client, Marissa, who's in Canada. It's like frozen there. I said, look, the whole goal is more movement, because you can work out every day and still be a sedentary human. Meaning you go in the gym, you work out for an hour. Okay. So say you're up for 18 hours, you're sitting this other 17. That's a sedentary lifestyle. So the idea is get more movement in. And obviously the reason why we promote walking is because of all these other benefits. But for her, she's like, well, I have the elliptical. I'm like, great. Like
do that.
Do the elliptical instead. Like we're just getting more movement in. So if she replaced the elliptical with this, maybe she's doing 10 minutes after each meal. Right. Or whatever that looks like for her. And when we talk about the 10 minutes and breaking it up, for me, I try to have this one long walk, and research more recently has said actually breaking it up throughout the day is better than having that one long 45-minute to 60-minute walk. So since I've learned that, I kind of, even if it's with the dogs, the nice thing about being in here is like I naturally just am walking back and forth.
You get a lot more steps in, I bet.
Oh yeah. Cause I have to go to the restroom in there and then I eat in there and I want to go see Mark and I want to see the dog. So like I'm walking back and forth. So, just figuring out what that looks like for you. You could park farther away. So some tips. I always park farther away. Like during Christmas, I think I said this. I had to get all my Christmas stuff like after Christmas because of Bricky passing. And I parked at Target, and the Target over in Paradise Valley where there's like the REI and the Dutch Bros. The REI. Yeah. So I parked. Well, I had to go to REI. So I parked right in the middle. Walked to REI, then I had to go to Dutch Bros. I walked to Dutch Bros. And then I kept my car there, walked to Target, walked back. Then I was like, I've got to go to Party City. And I was like, do I walk to Party City?
Yeah.
And so, and then, Party City is a little bit further away. So just
I always think of your story that where you parked at Fashion Square and you didn't know where, I think it was the Dick's Sporting Goods or something. So you had to carry the kettlebell across. The 45-pound But I mean, that's a symbol. Like if you're going to the mall or something like that and the store is on A side, then park on B side. And that way you get some steps in there.
Yeah.
I always like to think like for me, when I go back to the office, of like movement snacks. And so, for example, when summer comes, I don't like after I have lunch, I'm not going to go walk around the building because it's hot. So I try and when I get there early, I do one lap in the morning around the building so I can at least get those steps in. But then throughout the day, now more often I'm getting up and going up and down the hall. So once or twice, and then I sit back down.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's nice out, like now, this time of year, I would usually just do like 2 to 3 laps around the building, then go in.
Yeah.
So similar to you of like, I break it up more when it's hotter. That way I'm still getting movement in.
Yeah. Well, even for me, like say we're sitting, so my house is an L shape and there's a front bathroom for the guest bathroom. And then we have our bathroom in my primary bedroom. So even just to get more steps in, if I'm sitting in the front room, I'm not going to use that front bathroom. I use the one in my bedroom. And, even stacking, like I love, so like the OSO thing, we go and walk and get a coffee, and then we walk back with our coffee and like we're enjoying our coffee on this walk. So we're, killing 2 birds with one stone. We talked about even getting some work done, checking emails, checking messages, listening to, even I edit our podcast on the walk sometimes. So I'm stacking that. Obviously you have if you can, like, and you don't have to be on camera, like take a Zoom call.
Yeah.
You can take notes on your phone app. Or even you can do the AI on Zoom and like it can summarize the notes for you. So I think that's really good.
Yeah. Last one I would say is change like friend dates or date nights to walking, especially like I notice, some people have more of financial limitations, but they still want to have a date night. And it's like, well, go find a new place to go walk throughout the week, or even for friends, like instead of going out for dinner every time, go for a walk. Now you don't have to do that every time, but it's certainly an option if that's part of your goal, and tends to be part of the friend's goal too.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about here in Phoenix, you obviously can go for a hike. You can walk around Tempe Town Lake. We have so many farmers markets. First Fridays is a great place to go walk around. Just downtown in general and checking out the different like murals and artwork. What else?
Even like shopping. Yeah. Like if you're going shopping.
Well, like we went to Fashion Square.
Oh, yeah, we did walk.
We walked a ton. And so walking around the mall, be a mall walker. Listen, my mother-in-law, she loves to walk her walking path, but then she, during the winter, would go into the mall and do her little walk in the mall or the community center. So good. Well, we hope we've encouraged you to get out there, get moving. If you like this information, don't forget to hit that follow button and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any episodes. If you do love this information, we love 5-star rating and reviews. So if you're feeling generous, why don't you go throw one of those in for us? If you want more tips, insights, and coaching, check us out on Instagram at Mindset and Matter Coaching and fitbymanda.az. And you can find all of our episodes on YouTube at the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. So while you're out there walking around, being mindful of nature, we want you to remember one last thing.
What you say in the mind,
you see in the mirror. Goodbye.
Bye.